As we discovered with the polygon command, we create a single object with multiple edges versus what we create with the line command, where every edge or line segment is a separate object. So is the polyline command, creating multiple edged single objects. Polyline is more freeform than polygon. Polygon creates a regular polygon, always closed. If I grab my polyline command up here, or contrarily, you can type in PL to get to the polyline command. When I pick this, you have no choice, no options at all, except picking the start point. Once you pick the start point, then you get a pile of different options. And if you don't choose any of those options, you're simply being prompted to pick the next point. And all of our different point creation techniques apply. I'm just going to, for demonstration's sake, I'm just going to be picking points. And once I pick a point and then another point, then another point, you can see that we always have access to these different options. I'm going to hit enter, as that's the good way to end the command. It always irritates me that they don't put, exit in angle braces at the end to let new users know that to get out of this command, you hit the enter key. So I hit the enter key to get out of there. If I hover over the top of it, you can see the whole thing highlights. If I pick it, that object's grips show up. We'll talk about grips a little bit later. I'll hit escape to let go of that object. And that's the polyline command in its most basic form. If I grab polyline again, or this time I'll just type in PL just to show you that we can do it a different way. Hit enter. Again, we get the start point option. Next point prompting. One of the things I can do is use the width option. Now I can right click and pick width, or I could type in a W, or I could go down to the command prompt and pick width, or I could hit the arrow key and pick width out of that shortcut menu. Remember all of these things, folks. That's all you need to know, is what tools are available, and keep your eye on your command prompts and know what your options are. It's that easy, essentially. Now, once we've changed the width or entered the width option, now it's prompting me for a starting width, and I'll give it a starting width of 0.25. And then it asks me for an ending width. What this is really getting at is that I'm going to have a nice thick polyline instead of just like a single pixel wide line like I've had in the past there. I can have a tapering wider or a tapering thinner, or you can see if I just hit enter, my segment will maintain the same width throughout. And you can see I'm drawing with nice fat lines. Now those corners don't look very clean until you hit enter to end the polyline command, and then they kind of fill themselves in and clean themselves up. To get back to a normal polyline, I'm going to go PL and hit enter and pick a start point, and then I'm going to grab the width option from down here instead of right clicking and picking it off the shortcut, and I'm just going to set the width to 0 and the ending width to 0. And now I'm back to normal. Now also notice that I can pick multiple points, and once I've got a couple of points picked, we could use the close option, and that closes the polygon, or excuse me, the polyline. Well, it is a polygon, it's just not a regular polygon like the polygon command itself creates. But again, that's all one object and it's closed. That's different. This is not necessarily considered close for some advanced techniques. If I were to do this and then draw back to there, even though it looks closed, that's not considered a closed object. Let's examine that with a wide polyline, and it'll make a little more sense. I'll grab polyline again, and I'll pick a point. I'll grab width, and I'll set my width to, well, we'll just live with that 0.25, starting and ending width. And you can see the corners don't clean up and the corners don't clean up. And if I pick this end point and then hit enter, the corners clean up except for here because it's just the start point and an end point. They don't know that they're really coincident. If I use, I'll do the exact same thing here. I'll hit enter to repeat the last command, and I'll pick a start point. Notice that the polyline width stays set, and I'll pick and pick and pick, and this time I'll close, and when I close, all of the corners clean up. So that's the advantage of using the close option rather than just repicking that first point. The last thing I want to show you with Polyline is the arc option. Just like we can start a line segment with the line command and hit enter and end it, and then go into arc and hit enter at the start point prompt and kind of begin tangentially to the previous object when we're drawing lines and arcs. If I go to the arc option of Polyline, I'm going to draw a tangent to the last segment arc segment, and each time it's going to be tangent. If I then pick line to switch back to the line command, I can kick this off at any angle I want, and I am drawing with a wide polyline, so that corner would get cleaned up nice and cleanly. But if I want my line segment to be parallel, tangent to that line or to that arc, I use the length option. So I'm in the line command, and I'm going to specify the length of that line as being, notice that I'm kind of kicked off to the left here, but that 3.3910 is going to be used as the length, and it's going to be laid in tangentially. Okay, and I hit enter, and I'm done with the Polyline command. And that's pretty much it for Polyline.